Welcome to Darklight Archives. Not all history is written in textbooks. Some of it is scratched into dungeon walls, whispered in the margins, or embalmed in silence. These are the disturbing truths the world forgot, or deliberately ignored. Here are 5 lesser-known morbid facts from history. In the 1880s, England saw the rise of the Salvation Army, a Christian group preaching temperance and morality in city streets. But not everyone liked their message. Enter the Skeleton Army, a violent, organised counter-movement of drunks, criminals and pub owners. They dressed in mock uniforms, carried banners with skulls, and marched with slogans like beef, beer and bacca. They would intentionally incite riots during Salvation Army processions, throwing rocks, dead rats, and even burning tar at preachers. In some cities, like Weston-super-Mare and Worthing, these clashes led to serious injuries and even deaths. Police often sided with the skeletons, blaming the Salvationists for provoking the public. These weren't isolated scuffles. They were documented in court records and newspapers, part of a bizarre chapter in religious and civil unrest. When British philosopher Jeremy Bentham died in 1832, he requested an unusual form of immortality to be preserved as an auto-icon. His skeleton was dressed in his clothes, seated in a chair, and topped with a wax head after the real one proved too horrifying to display. The figure remains on display at University College London to this day. A popular myth claimed Bentham attended board meetings for decades and was listed as present but not voting. In truth, that only happened once in 2013 as a symbolic gesture during a special UCL event. Even so, Bentham's presence still looms over the halls of academia long after his death. In 1998, while renovating Benjamin Franklin's former residence at 36 Craven Street in London, construction workers discovered a chilling surprise: 15 human skeletons buried beneath the home. The remains dated back to Franklin's time, living there in the 18th century. Was the founding father secretly a killer? Not exactly. Further investigation revealed the bodies were linked to his friend and protégé, William Hewson, a surgeon who ran an anatomy school in the basement. At the time, cadavers for dissection were often obtained illegally through grave robbing. Though Franklin may not have been involved, he definitely knew what was happening in his home and remained silent. The bones still lie beneath the building, now a museum. In 19th century Paris, death was entertainment. The Paris Morgue, located near Notre Dame, became a bizarre tourist attraction. Starting in the 1800s, unclaimed bodies were displayed behind glass for public viewing, in hopes someone might identify them. But for many visitors, it wasn't about justice, it was about morbid curiosity. Families brought children, artists came for inspiration. At its peak, the morgue drew over 40,000 visitors a day. Some came back repeatedly to see if any new corpses had arrived. Newspapers described the morgue as a theatre of death, and officials quietly supported the publicity, hoping fear of ending up on display might discourage crime or suicide. The practice continued until 1907, when authorities finally shut it down due to public outcry over its exploitative nature. On August 14, 1936, Rainey Bethea, a 26-year-old black man, was publicly hanged in Owensboro, Kentucky, the last public execution in U.S. history. He had confessed to essay and murder, and while his guilt wasn't in question, the event itself descended into a media circus. Over 20,000 spectators gathered. Vendors sold popcorn and souvenirs. Journalists scrambled for the best view. Some witnesses said the crowd cheered as the trapdoor dropped, adding to the spectacle. A woman, Sheriff Florence Thompson, was supposed to oversee the execution, the first in US history, but she declined to pull the lever, and a deputy did it instead. The national outcry over the grotesque scene helped bring an end to public executions in America. These aren't myths. They're the parts of history that were too uncomfortable, too grotesque, or too real to be remembered. But they happened. They are documented, and they remind us that the past is far darker than we were ever taught. Subscribe to Darklight Archives for more hidden truths, forgotten horrors, and morbid curiosities.